And it's recording, brilliant. So, I haven't been posting for a while because I was lazy and I had quite a lot of personal problems, so I'll keep it quite short for today because well, I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts. I haven't prepared anything in particular. It's November and it's Halloween soon. I wanted to talk about friendships between girls or women, as I'm a woman now, not a girl. Not because I don't want to be called a girl, but because of my age, I wouldn't really be called a girl. Well, anyway. But, yeah, this is something I wanted to talk about, is the concept of friendships between females. I don't like that term very much either, but never mind. Because I think I'm not saying I prefer friendships with men, but sometimes it's a bit difficult when you reach my age, which is well above 30, let's say. It's quite difficult to make friends with, have really close or even not so close female friends. And it wasn't a problem I had when I was younger. Or I can be friends with women who are older than me. A few women who are my age, but few. My age or early 40s, late 40s. I tend to get on better with women who are a little bit younger, who are in their 20s. Why is that? I would say 35, 40 plus is a very difficult age for women because there are lots of pressures. There's a lot of pressure from society to be to have it all, and you've only got one life. Getting married or being in a couple, having a successful career, having children, and you're supposed to have achieved all this by age 40. And when you get married, when you decide, then you feel you've sacrificed your professional life. Or you've had children, when you haven't, you feel sometimes that you have, you have missed out on possibilities, and you feel you haven't got a lifetime to do it, and you feel quite envious of other women who've had children. So they keep comparing themselves to other women, and that leads to a lot of resentment and jealousy, because it's not, and judging each other's lifestyle choices, which is quite hard. And so that's why I find friendships with other women in their 20s, for example, are much easier to sustain because there's not that constant competition. And women tend to be competitive as well, but they tend to be competitive either in the workplace, where they're going to compete about who's going to be the alpha male, or they're competitive in certain social situations, such as the party or the nightclub, and who's going to take the most beautiful girl back home with him. Yeah, but outside these situations, they can have very good relationships together, I think, where they talk about, because they don't really talk about personal choices, choices concerning their personal life. They tend to talk about their hobbies, they talk about politics, they talk about world events. And even when they talk about personal stuff, they don't tend to get very competitive, as women do. And it's very hard, and it hurts. Because it's one thing being told your bum looks big in this, that dress doesn't really suit you, that hairstyle is horrible. It's not very pleasant, but you can deal with it. You're a big girl. And it's not the end of the world. But if someone really attacks your personal choices, tells you you're a bad mother, tells you you're doing nothing with your life, tells you your boyfriend is a loser, tells you you're a worthless waste of space, it really hurts. It really hurts. And there's nothing wrong with giving friends advice, as long as it's noisy. There's nothing wrong with giving friends advice, as long as that advice is solicited. And even then you have to be careful. Okay? Frenemies is a different concept. It's usually people who pretend to be your friends and who might think of themselves as your friend, but they have very ambivalent feelings towards you. They, on the one hand, they hate you, on the one hand, they like you, and you don't know if they're friends or if they're enemies. That's why they're called frenemies. And I don't know, I don't think you have the same concept with men. I doubt it very much. But they're often very difficult to deal with, and you really have to, because you never know, did she really mean it? What kind of mood she's going to be in? Is she going to be nice, or is she going to be a bitch? And it's actually causing you a lot of stress. And personally, I don't like these relationships which are based on competition. And I prefer things to be clear. You're either my friend or you're not. And I can deal with having fewer friends, but sincere ones. But that's the way it is. There it is. No, I don't know if men have frenemies. When I see that term being used, it's usually about females. But I think it tends to be, although I know there are lots of bitchy girls in high school now, I think it tends to be a lot more about women who are a bit older, because life is harder for women at a certain age, and you can't blame them for that, and you've got to understand that as well. But that's still not an excuse for being a bitch. So this is all for now, and have a good day. Bye bye.